Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is Biking Buddies and you join me on a 2-day epic camping adventure deep in the heartland of the North Yorkshire moors. This is organised and run by the North Yorkshire TRF group and we're out here raising money for the myeloma cancer research based in James Cook University Hospital. So as always, grab yourself a beer, grab yourself a brew and strap yourselves in for this epic 2-day camping adventure. Let's roll VT.
Where do you go when you're young, when you're restless, when you're fun, cause you're desperate? Oh, here they come for a chance, for adventure. What's your poison, what's your pleasure?
So after a few beers and a hearty meal the night before, Paddy stepped up to the plate and he ensured that everybody had endless cups of tea and coffee. We were also supplied with quite literally half a pig in a bun, never-ending bacon supply, and man did we need it, because the rain was relentless. There was only Paddy on the right and myself on the left that were hardy enough, or foolhardy enough, to be under canvas. Goathland Hub gave us fantastic facilities both internally and externally for vans, camper vans and tents alike. So whilst the rain continued to pour down, the riders started to gather, brew in hand, ready for our briefings to be divvied up into the 5 working groups from super hard enduro through to the ADV sector. Okay, so that is the ride brief done. I'm leading group 5 today. I believe we are, we're John out the front, so 2, 4, 6 bikes up today. Got a mixture of enduro bikes and we've also got a mixture of ADV bikes as well, yours truly. The weather is quite literally wetter than an otter's pocket, so we're going to stick mainly to the forest trails, but we will have some single track stuff to do as well, which I'm sure is going to be quite interesting and challenging. So thank you very much, Goathland, the Community Hub. And we'll just wait for everybody to bunch up and get ourselves ready now. What a wet, soggy day. Okay, so here we go. Group 5, we are out of the blocks. It's going to be very difficult to see this map today. Very difficult indeed. So those of you that are not local to the area, you may well recognise where we are. We are in Heartbeat country. This is the famous village of Goathland, aka Aidensfield, where they filmed the police drama series Heartbeat. Okay then folks, so riding across the top of the national park normally gives us unequivocal views all the way across, been a very plateau, so we can see the purple of the heather just starting to come out in blossom, and let me get the visor down, can't see a thing, stinging my eyes. That's pretty much all we can see, just this hazy mist and heavy rain that we've got. Well, it's not heavy rain as such, but just this constant rain. It's that wetting rain, and I know that rain is wet, but yeah, this is that wetting rain that just creeps into every little aperture, nook and cranny that we've got. So we're on the Roman road now, the Wheeldale road that takes us down deep into the vast forests of North Yorkshire, and that's where most of the footage is going to come from and most of the fun and frolics on this ride. Well, this is very interesting. This is a brand new lane to me, so I just had to stop a couple of times there mid lane just to check the mapping that I'd already prescribed for the route that we were in the right place, but yeah, it's a very good lane, this one. It looks like we're going to get quite wet and lumpy here. Bit of regrading going on. It's the only trouble when it's been so wet like it has, and we've had like 3 days worth of solid rain, is these tracks normally you'd just be breezing along here, oodles of grip, but anything on these bigger bikes that are on kind of 50-50 tyres as well predominantly, anything that's slightly off camber really makes you struggle. And here we are back on the metalled road where we work our way past the campsite and back down towards the big forests of North Yorkshire. First one in the bag. Okay, so here we are now in deep Dalby Forest, and we're about to work our way along this little slippery trail that'll take us out onto the Forest Drive. It's a nice steady gentle day today, an ADV focused day, but that's not to say it isn't going to be without challenge along the way, and certainly lots of tree in your face, certainly lots of slippy bits as well. I am trying to keep the lens as clear as I possibly can on the GoPro, both of them, both lid cam and rail cam, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of footage of the team behind us there as we work our way along these trails. That was a little bit deeper than I thought. Very interesting. So we're on a 2-day event. We're on day 1 at the moment. It's actually the second day, or the first proper day. Yesterday was very much a set-up kind of day. And this is where the track starts to narrow itself in and get a little bit rutted. Looks like there's been a bit of hardcore going down, which is most welcome. And into the undergrowth. Now the last time that I came down here, well, the first time I came down here on the bike, sorry, it was in January of this year, and quite clearly there was no vegetation growth there. Very, very different today. Can hardly really see the trail in front of me. This reminds me of Thoresby Lane, where we brought Hippodrone's Pete up with us, just forging our way through the undergrowth. This is incredible. Come out on the bike, they said. It'll be fun, they said. We ordered the rain. We've dialed that up. That seems to have abated a little bit at the moment, which is fantastic. And now we're just forging our way into the great forests of North Yorkshire. Dalby first, then Broxer, then Langdale, and then we repeat Langdale, a little bit of Dalby, and back for refreshments and food this evening at the campsite. All for Myeloma Cancer research, which is good. The cancer unit at James Cook University Hospital. What a superb event and a superb cause to be raising money. Tree in your face. So the only trouble with these adventure helmets is the peak. You can't, once you've ducked your head down like that, you can't actually see past it, which is a little bit problematic with these low-hanging trees. Yep, here's the road section. What an amazing place. Riding through the forest is just fantastic. It's a shame in one respect that they are so far away, but when you're doing a camping weekend as we are at the moment, it puts you in the heartland of the great forests of North Yorkshire, and I absolutely love riding through the trees as we are. Even when we're on a gravel track, as we are at the moment, is still very, very good. Let's just have a quick look. Yep, we're all good. Always worth just stopping to check the map. You never know. Certainly don't want to be going off-piste or in the wrong area or direction. Hang on. This is said that, and we are completely wrong. So there's me saying check the map, just to make sure we don't go off piste, and we are off piste. So we should have gone to the sign. I did half recognise that sign that says do not follow sat nav, but yes, this is where we should actually be. Hey ho, nobody's infallible. Yes, I remember this. This was the icy section that I did in January with DC. Sorry guys.
So as we approached mid-morning, the trail gods decided to throw us a curveball and place a tree directly across the trail. We did have to think a little bit outside of the box as to how we were going to get around this, but in fine TRF adage, many hands make light work, and lots of helping hands were available. We had to manhandle some of the heavier bikes, mine being the first one across, and some of the lighter bikes, they just skipped around the top of the tree as if it wasn't there.
I'm going to get a picture of you under it in a minute. Peeking. Go on, Paul, do a slide.
Get around the corner.
No. But John nearly went up back here. I was like, oh, what have we stopped for? Mine, Paul. It's in gear. It's always in gear. Go on, John. Don't flick yourself off. Good job you got that suit on.
So that was interesting there, just tree down in our track, and we had to circumnavigate. So yes, a little bit of adventure into the adventure section. Okay, so this is the section where we predominantly leave the forest drive and we just pick up some arables and work our way down through some sloppy bits towards the campsite and beyond. This is quite slippy, as we can see there already. Now, I'm not going to make the mistake and get stuck in that rut to the side there. Wow, that is deep. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, let's stay sat down. Can't stand up, that is for sure. Bike is crossed up and all over the place. There we go. Wow, that's slippy stuff. Make no bones about it. This is just incredible. So slippy. There's virtually no traction at all. Well, I'm glad to get to the end of that bit. Fantastic about these rides, and I've always said this with any group ride that I'm leading, it's nice to be riding with people whose experience levels far outstrip my own. So both Johns, vastly experienced riders, and I certainly feel humbled to have them within the group. My phone has temporarily died. I think it's just a little bit of water ingress perhaps. I'll have a sort out of that at lunch, I hope, but as such the OS map app has gone down, and that's obviously what I've got the route loaded into. So just leaning on a little bit of expertise from both Johns in terms of just piecing together this midsection of the route. We're going to circumnavigate the Yorkshire Water Park, and that's where we're going to have some lunch. So thank you very much, John and John, front and rear, bookending the ride as it were. Man alive, it is wet. So we've just been up middle lane, probably one of my least favourite lanes, it's got to be said. It's very overgrown, very rutted, and yeah, why did I pick that one? I don't know, but hey ho, a little bit off film, but yeah, we laid the bike down, which was always going to happen on a day like today. So we are back onto the major arterials, as it were, within the forest, and we're pushing north into Wycombe Forest. Now I believe this is called the Great North Road, pretty much straight as a die all the way up to the very top, and we'll circumnavigate the top edge of the forest and then start to thinking about heading homeward or heading campward for warm showers, dry clothes and a nice cold beer. And here we are into the forest once more, dear boy. Into the forest once more. I do love just this coming into the trees, it's absolutely fantastic. A little bit muddy with all of the traffic and Forestry Commission traffic, etc. That's why you've got to watch out for some of these water holes. They can be very deep and very challenging. And this is pretty much one of the last trails that we'll do of the day before we're picking the road section up and heading ourselves back to the campsite. This just keeps us high up on the hillside. Our gnarly track is down to our right hand side, and we're certainly not doing that today. That would be very wet and very slippy and very rutty. Little point in doing that on a bigger ADV bike. So we're circumnavigating the top end of Wycombe Forest. We'll pop out at Dalby, and then we're back to the campsite. And this kind of brings us full circle, really, because when we pop out on the road section here, it'll be where we first ducked into Dalby Forest. Oh my life, this is the approach back into the campsite. We're not more than just over a mile away now, and look at these spectacular views that we quite simply haven't got. What is disappointing is we have two chaps up from Norfolk, from the Norfolk branch of the TRF, and they've come to visit us this weekend, which is absolutely fantastic. So a big shout out to Andy and Aaron, father and son duo. And what is unfortunate is just the lack of view that these guys have experienced, and obviously the rubbish weather as well. Albeit the trails have been quite good, they're obviously better when it's dry and it's sunny and it's warm. So yes, I really do feel for you guys. You've made a huge effort coming all the way up to come and ride with us on this charity event weekend. and the weather gods unfortunately have not they've not played game with us. So here we are then, morning 2. This is Sunday morning from the night before. Absolutely tanked it down during the night. Quite a few people have bailed on the ride, partly because of weekend commitments and also partly because of the weather. Let's just see if I can extricate myself, and we'll have a quick look at this camping field. Just look at that for a soggy camping field. We're all packed up now. There was only Paddy and myself that were hardy enough to be camping, but yeah, look at this, completely and utterly saturated. And that's very much going to be the flavour of the trails today. We're going to have a little bit of a short loop around. Fantastic event, so under attended, but yeah, very much oversubscribed in terms of donations and money made. Absolutely superb. So let's get this ride on the show, or show on the road even, and we'll go brave this weather. Okay, so we're out on the bike now. The rain seems to have temporarily stopped, which is absolutely fantastic. Long may that continue. I believe the forecast is to dry up a little bit today. We're only doing a bit of a short day, a fairly inauspicious day, so I'm not going to film a vast amount of that. We're going to duck ourselves across to the eastern side, or the western side, sorry, of the North Yorkshire Moors National Park. That's presently where we are at the moment. You know, I think I can see a little bit of blue sky up there. Fantastic. And yeah, we're going to go over the famous Rudland Rig. As I mentioned earlier in the video, we have some people out with us that are from Norfolk, so this area is completely new to them. So whilst it's very familiar trails to myself and mostly to you guys as well, this is brand new to Andy that's with us from Norfolk. Now, what is going to be interesting with the sheer volume of rain that we've had over this past, what, 3 or 4 days now, is just how much water is going to be in the bottom down here for the water crossing, that I am absolutely not going to do today. I think that would be folly before we've even seen the water. But yeah, it'll definitely be a bridge day for me. So here we are now down at the bottom where the water crossing is. Let's just have a little bit of a look and see how much water is in there. Might just stop and mention that to Andy. Whoa, that is very, very full indeed. So that's the alternate route, which is the water crossing. It is quite high. I've seen it higher, but it is quite high, yeah. It's not for me today, that one. Yeah, quite a bit of water in there today. Quite a bit. Man alive, visibility is absolutely atrocious, and I don't wear glasses. We are 5 up in our group, and with the exception of myself and Paddy, I believe we're the only chaps that are not wearing glasses. So when you're into this driving mist that we've got, it's not really rain arguably, but it is very wet, heavy mist. Yes, I'm constantly blinking. It's far better for me to have the visor up and to be blinking to keep my eyes clear, but man alive, the pace is so sedate today just because of the lack of visibility, and I really do feel for these chaps wearing glasses. They must be riding virtually blind, almost riding by braille. Okay, so for those that know the area, this is usually where we're just cresting off the top. We just open massive vistas up to our left hand side, down across the Durham Tees Valley and over to the North Pennines, and a little bit south and west towards the beautiful Yorkshire Dales. But today, these are the spectacular views that we haven't got, and man alive, I must admit this is more endurance than enjoyment. And I've always professed that I'll ride for enjoyment, not for endurance. But you know, this is a charity weekend. We were already here, we've camped, we've endured the worst, well, maybe not the worst of the weather, I don't know, but we've endured some weather this weekend, that is for sure. And yes, here we are, desperately working our way off the top of Rudland Rig, hopefully down into some better weather, but it's highly unlikely today. The audio will work. That is us down off Rudland Rig in the mist and the murk. We're out the wind now. You may not be able to see, but right up on the top of the trees there's quite a severe wind blowing. So yes, we're now just going to work our way towards Bank Foot. We'll hang a right and start to head back towards the campsite where we can fully demontage and everybody can break and head home. Superb day so far, but yes, very, very wet and I'll be glad to get home and get dried off, I think. So a slight little marginal addition. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to go. John suggested that we come and have a look at the little water crossing that we've got off Church Lane. Gonna have a look at it. I think it's going to be too deep, if I'm honest, but let's go have a quick look. Risk and reward. I think that's a bit too, just a little bit too deep. It's moving quite quick, like. I was just thinking, John, risk and reward, it looks a bit...
No, it's not worth it.
I'll push you back, buddy.
Not worth it. Yeah, not worth it, you're right.
For
I would do it, but...
it's a nice little trail, and it's nice across the top. Yeah.
Are you going to do back the street?
I wasn't going to, no, I was just going to go straight across to Shaun the Sheep.
That might warm them up a bit.
Well, do Coulson Banks. Let's do Coulson Banks, yeah. So we're going to have a crack at Coulson Banks and just get ourselves up there. I'm sure it'll be quite slippy and sloppy. Wow, I don't think I've seen this water crossing that deep for some time either. Quite a bit of water in there. Yep, that's quite wet indeed, and through we go.
So after a day and a half of riding in near continuous rain, this is where the water gremlin started to creep into the audio. I do apologise for the creaking and the cracking. I have cut most of that out, but I've left a little bit in just to capture the flavour of the day. I'm utterly astounded that we went this deep into the video footage before water started to hit us.
Let's keep going. Very badly, very badly. We've got a river, Paddy. We've got a river. I've never seen that deep. Hey, I've been across this Commondale trail a few times, Shaun the Sheep, when it's been wet, but I don't think I have ever seen it as wet as it is today. It's almost a continuous puddle, and when you're not in a puddle, you're in a little bit of a rivulet, and I know for a fact that a few of these puddles are quite deep later on, and that's something that yep, like that one, I am just a little bit mindful of. You can say I don't think the trail can actually hold any more water than is presently in it, which is one saving grace, just given the fact that we've got flowing water here to my right hand side. Look at this, I've got a veritable river down to my right hand side. And here we are.
So after 2 days of near relentless rain, the water finally crept its way in and put pay to any audio. So if you have stuck with me to the end, then thank you very much. Thank you to everybody that came along, and a huge thank you to the North Yorkshire TRF for laying this event on, all of the volunteer staff that work tirelessly at the Goathland Community Hub. We raised a sum total of around a £5,000 mark for myeloma cancer care. Absolutely staggering, considering how few numbers we were actually on this event. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, give it a share, and give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment. I do reply to all of the comments, both positive and negative. The final thing for me to say, wherever you are in the world, guys, keep it safe, keep it shiny side up, and we will catch you for the next one. Cheers folks, bye now, bye.